as long as he was mayor. We look back on the life and career of one of the most colourful characters in New Zealand politics, Sir Tim Shadbolt. Revelations: a man and woman found dead at a Bay of Plenty kiwifruit property were from the same village in Vanuatu. And the US ups the ante, seizing a Russian-flagged oil tanker. Kia ora, welcome to 3 News. New Zealand's longest-serving mayor, Sir Tim Shadbolt, has died aged 78. A student activist turned lifelong politician, the eccentric leader left his mark on the country from the moment the public laid eyes on him over 60 years ago. Senior reporter Juliet Speedy has the story.
Sir Tim Shadbolt was known for his iconic and quirky nature.
And it's gonna be hot, hot, hot in the city this winter.
In the public eye for decades, which started in student activism. Throughout the 60s and 70s, from climate change to anti-war, Shadbolt was very much the professional protester, being arrested 33 times.
I believe that protest in itself is a positive thing. You know, that even though it's destructive, and it's seemingly destructive, and that you're walking around yelling and screaming, you can say, oh, that's negative, and that's negative, and that's negative. I feel that it is a positive force.
In 1983, Shadbolt ran for Waitemata City Mayor with no real policies, but he still won by over 1,200 votes.
And I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, really.
He failed to be re-elected for a third term following a government audit, which revealed cronyism and fund mismanagement. But he pressed on, going on a local government campaign spree up and down the country, from Auckland to Dunedin. Shadbolt found no success until he ran for Invercargill mayor in 1993, winning despite never stepping foot in the city until 5 weeks before. The prolific politician campaigned on raising the profile of the city, which was quickly declining in population. The Invercargill icon fared so well he was knighted in 2019 for his services to local government and the community. He was infamous for his antics.
Maybe the press will be able to write about what we want to talk about.
In spite of losing in the 1995 elections, he was re-elected in 1998. In his last few years as mayor, Shadbolt came under fire for failing to carry out his mayoral duties, falling asleep during a council meeting and often using city property to hoard personal items. His lifelong run in politics came to an end in 2022. He remains New Zealand's longest-serving mayor. Sir Tim Shadbolt was 78.
A man and woman found dead at a Bay of Plenty kiwifruit property on New Year's Day were from the same village in Vanuatu. Earlier I spoke to Stuff journalist Nadine Roberts, who's been investigating the story.
Well, yes, there's still so many unanswered questions about what actually went on in this Pukehina property in the Bay of Plenty on New Year's Day. Now, what we do know is that police got a call at 3 p.m. on New Year's Day because a woman had been found deceased in a house there. But in a strange twist to this story, less than 24 hours later, police discovered another body, this time a man, in another house on the property. Now, what police have said is that they do not know how this man died at this stage. They're saying it's unexplained and they are doing a post-mortem to work out what's happened. And in the meantime, they're asking the public for their help. They specifically want to talk to people who were in the area or might have seen anything between 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve and 3 a.m. on the 2nd of January.
And the property in question is connected to a prominent figure in the kiwifruit industry?
Yes, that's right, Ollie. It's connected to Bruce Cameron. Now, Bruce Cameron is a kiwifruit Goliath and owns a lot of property in the area and a lot of farming and different businesses in the area. And he is part of a company that owns this property, and they bring in a lot of Vanuatu seasonal workers each year.
OK, Nadine, what's the impact been on the seasonal workers community?
Well, from those I've spoken to within the Vanuatu community, there has been a sense of shock and disbelief that this could have taken place. This is a really tight-knit group of people. They often come from the same village. They often come back year after year to the same place, and they're loved within their local community. And when they leave Vanuatu, they're often told by authorities over there that they are ambassadors for their country. So equally, everyone in Vanuatu is looking over here to see what happens next.
Nadine Roberts, thanks so much for joining us. Police say they know the identity of the person found dead at a property in the Auckland suburb of Devonport on New Year's Day, but are not yet in a position to release their name or age. However, it's being reported it's a 3-year-old child. Police say the cause of death remains unexplained and inquiries are underway to establish the full circumstances of what's occurred. Police would like to hear from a group of people who may have visited the address at 9 Kerr Street, Devonport, and used the pool, including 1 adult and at least 2 children. Extraordinary video released by the US military shows pre-dawn raids on Venezuelan-linked tankers in 2 oceans. The high-stakes operation escalating a confrontation that's now drawn in Russia and the UK. Meanwhile, Venezuela's immediate future remains unclear, with mixed messages coming from the Trump administration over who's in charge and, critically, what will happen to its oil. Senior reporter Juliet Speedy has more.
It plays like the start of a spy thriller, but this is real, a pre-dawn raid posted to social media by the US military Southern Command. US forces seizing 2 Venezuelan-linked tankers in the early hours of the morning. Video released of the M. Sophia in the Caribbean appears to show a Black Force helicopter lower ropes to the deck before US forces descend and then start heading towards the bridge. The second tanker, recently renamed the Marinera and reflagged as a Russian vessel, was apprehended in the North Atlantic with support from British forces.
This was a Venezuelan shadow fleet vessel that has transported sanctioned oil, and the United States of America, under this president, is not going to tolerate that. I would also just add the vessel had a judicial seizure order and the crew, so that means the crew is now subject to prosecution for any applicable violation of federal law, and they will be brought to the United States for such prosecution if necessary.
The Marinera appeared to be heading towards Russia when it was boarded as it passed between Iceland and Scotland. Around that time, the vessel was seen to be making a sharp turn in the direction of the Scottish coast. A photograph released via Russian media appeared to show a little bird chopper, the kind used by US Special Forces, approaching the Marinera. Moscow has condemned the boarding as a violation of international law. The UK contribution involved support from the Royal Fleet Auxiliary, Tide Force and surveillance from RAF aircraft.
We know that the vessel in question is part of a Russian-Iranian sanctions evasion axis. And the money that is being made, the proceeds from selling that illegal oil, is being used to fund and fuel terrorism. It's being used to fuel misery and conflict from the Middle East to Ukraine.
The question of oil was certainly central when US senators were briefed behind closed doors at Capitol Hill. US Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio telling media that seizing this rich Venezuelan resource gives America leverage.
They understand that the only way they can move oil and generate revenue and not have economic collapse is if they cooperate and work with the United States.
But what about governance? The US seized Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, but left in place his Vice President, Delcy Rodriguez.
The bottom line is that there is a process now in place where we have tremendous control and leverage over what those interim authorities are doing and are able to do. But obviously this will be a process of transition. In the end, it will be up to the Venezuelan people to transform their country.
Rubio clearly wants democracy, but that is a word that Donald Trump has not mentioned yet. Instead, the president announced the US would be receiving up to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan oil, saying on Truth Social, "This oil will be sold at its market price and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America, to ensure it is used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States." In Congress, senators leaving the briefing appeared to have been sold a slightly different take.
It's not ours. We're holding it for the Venezuelan people. We're not taking it. We're not going to deposit it. We're going to use it for the Venezuelan people.
The Democrats sceptical.
The public needs answers. Across America, people are just saying, what the hell is going on?
In the scramble for Venezuela's vast resources, the fog is lifting, but the bigger picture is only getting harder to read.
Temperatures are set to soar across large parts of the country in the coming days, with a fire ban in place this weekend for Canterbury. Met Service meteorologist Matapelo Magabudlani joined me a short time ago. I asked her where and when the heat will hit.
From Friday and right through the weekend, we're expecting very hot conditions, and the areas that we're looking at are many parts of the North Island, so places like Hawke's Bay, Parafiti, Gisborne, Bay of Plenty, and even up in Northland. Then for the South Island, again, those eastern areas, so eastern Marlborough and parts of Canterbury as well.
So will Canterbury avoid the winds that often come with this kind of heat?
It's been a long while since we've seen warm temperatures like these in Canterbury, about a month or so. And one of the driving factors is those northwesterly winds. So we will be seeing those strong winds, especially on Sunday, where they really could pick up once again. Temperatures that we could be seeing for that Canterbury Plains area, as well as Christchurch, touching the 30s, about 32 degrees for Christchurch City.
Sounds warm. Are there precautions people should be taking?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say for anybody who is going to be experiencing these hot temperatures, definitely stay cool as much as possible. Of course, drink plenty of water. This kind of heat, and especially the prolonged nature of it, can have an impact on daily life. As well, do check in on those members of our community, like the younger people, the elderly, maybe people with certain health conditions. They do tend to be more at risk with warm temperatures like these. And lastly, I'll also say we are seeing warm temperatures and strong winds, so that fire risk does increase this weekend. The best thing to do would be to head to checkitsallright.nz for those conditions.
Matapelo, we've had some pretty miserable weather over the New Year period. Is this summer finally arriving?
We've had a bit of a mixed bag this summer, haven't we? It started all warm. I know Wellington was beautiful at the start of December. Then things took a bit of a turn, and now we're nice and bright again. We are still going to see a bit of a roller coaster for the next week or so. These temperatures continue for the weekend, but then on Monday, we are back to our rainy and windy weather systems once again.
Met Service meteorologist Matapelo Magabudlani, thanks so much for joining us. Still to come on 3 News, we visit Christchurch's brand new independent supermarket and find business is absolutely booming. And coming up in sport, Australia have won the 5th and final Ashes test to clinch a dominant series win.
There's only one thing Threador loves more than life. And that's drama. Married at First Sight Australia, coming soon to 3 and 3 Now. Double room reveals that will blow your mind and will have the judges' jaws on the floor.
What? I am blown away.
The Block Australia, Sunday at 7 on 3 and 3 Now.
It's BB&B's Summer Splash Sale with 40 to 60% off store-wide, at least 50% off all sheets, 60% off all home decor, wall art and mirrors, and 60% off all floor rugs. In-store and online at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Supercharge your snack game with the KFC Snack Box range. Our signature chips with your choice of popcorn chicken, nuggets or wicked wings for just $4.99 each. These savings won't stick around, so get in quick, only at KFC.
The GWM Havel HX plug-in hybrid is packed with features that deliver more.
Harvey Norman New Year sale on now. Refresh your bedroom with this contemporary queen bed frame for only $998 and get a massive 60% off the premium Sleepmaker Gold Rain mattress range. Don't miss out. Harvey Norman New Year sale on now.